Hi everyone, welcome to today's online story time. I'm Andrea, and today we're going to read books that are about ballet because we have a couple more weeks left at summer reading program here at Kern County Libraries, and we're going to keep reading about our theme, Read to the Rhythm. So we're going to go in and get started with our first book, and this one is called Dogs Don't Do Ballet by Anna Kemp. My dog is not like other dogs. He doesn't do stuff like weeing on fire hydrants or scratching his fleas or drinking out of the toilet. If I throw him a stick, he looks at me like I'm crazy, so I have to fetch it myself. No, my dog likes music and moonlight and walking on his tiptoes. You see, my dog doesn't think he's a dog. My dog thinks he's a ballet dancer. When I get ready for ballet class, he looks longingly at my tutu and ballet shoes, and I just know he's dreaming of his name in lights. Dad, I say, can Biff come too? He loves ballet. Not a chance, says Dad. Dogs don't do ballet. Then, one Saturday on my way to class, I get a funny feeling like I am being watched. A funny feeling that I am being followed. Can you see who's following her? When Miss Polly is teaching us a new routine, I think I see something peeking in the window. Something with a wet nose, something with a tail. Okay, girls, says Miss Polly, who's going to demonstrate first position? You see who's in the window? But before any of the girls can step forward, there's a loud bark from the back of the studio, and something furry rushes to the front. What is this? Asks Miss Polly, peering over her glasses. This, I say, is my dog. Well, take it away at once, says Miss Polly, wrinkling up her nose. Dogs don't do ballet. My poor dog stops wagging his tail, and his ears droop down at the ends. I take my dog home and give him a bowl of doggy donuts, but he won't touch them. He just stays in his house for days and days, and at night he howls at the moon. For my birthday, I get tickets for the Royal Ballet. Can Biff come too? I ask Dad. He loves ballet. My dog pricks up his ears and wags his tail. No, says Dad. If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Dogs don't do ballet. As we wait for the bus, I think about my poor old dog all on his own, howling at the moon. Then I get a funny feeling. A funny feeling that I am being watched. A funny feeling that I am not alone. You see who's hiding? The ballet is magical. The orchestra plays as the prima ballerina dances and prances and twirls and whirls and skips and... Oh no, she trips. Disaster, calamity. It's all over, I think. But somebody doesn't think it is over. No, somebody thinks it is just beginning. Somebody with big black eyes, somebody with pointy ears, somebody wearing my tutu. The audience gasps. It's a dog, someone shouts. Dogs don't do ballet. My dog turns bright red and looks at his feet. That's what I've always said, Dad mutters. But then the orchestra starts to play. And Biff dances like no dog has ever danced before. Plie, jeté, arabesque, pirouette. He is as light as a sugar puff, as pretty as a fairy. The audience can't believe it. Hooray, I shout, that's my dog. When the music stops, my dog gives a hopeful curtsy and blinks nervously into the spotlight. The theater is so very quiet, you could hear a bubble pop. Then the lady in the front row stands up. It's a dog, she shouts. Biff's ears start to droop again. A dog that does ballet, she adds. Bravo! Suddenly, the whole audience cheers and throws hundreds of roses. My dog glows pink with happiness. I don't believe it, says Dad, shaking his head. Biff is a ballet dancer after all. See, I say proudly, ruffling Biff's ears, dogs do ballet. Bravo, Biff. The end. All right. You guys ready for our next book? The next book I'm going to read is called Over in the Meadow at the Big Ballet by Lisa Schulman. Anybody see what's on the cover? It's a duck this time. Over in the meadow where the dragonflies play, stepped a nervous little swan and her teacher, Miss Fay. On stage? Asked the swan. That's right, said Miss Fay. So they started getting ready for next week's ballet. Early the next morning by the pond so blue, frisked a quick little squirrel and her fluffy-tailed crew. Paint, said Miss Fay. We paint, said the crew. So they painted a great castle and the stage set grew. The nervous little swan practiced hard the next day. Then she rushed across the meadow after busy Miss Fay. I can't, said the swan. You can, said Miss Fay. So she danced even harder while her friends went to play. So she's got lots of practicing to do. Underneath the oak trees where the dirt road bends, sewed a roly-poly hedgehog and her prickly hedgehog friends. Stitch, said Miss Fay. We stitched, said the friends. So they stitched and they snipped through the long weekend. Can you tell what they're making? They're making costumes for the ballet. The nervous little swan worried more each day as she tried to explain to the elegant Miss Fay. I'll trip, said the swan. You'll dance, said Miss Fay, but the swan wished she'd never even heard of ballet. Oh, she's getting so nervous. Under weeping willows by the pond in the grass, stretched a green speckled frog and the dancers in her class. Bend, said Miss Fay. We bend, said the class. So they bent and they stretched by the pond in the grass. The nervous little swan tried to hide from Miss Fay by the blackberry bushes where the wild roses sway. I'm sick, said the swan. You're fine, said Miss Fay. So they had a quick rehearsal before the big day. She's still not ready. On the evening of the show, near a flat gray rock, dressed a plump white goose and the rest of her flock. Squeeze, said Miss Fay. We squeeze, said the flock. So they squeezed and they laced and they preened by the rock. All getting dressed for the big show. The nervous little swan nearly fainted dead away as she quaked behind the curtains next to watchful Miss Fay. I'm scared, said the swan. So am I, said Miss Fay. Before the curtains rise, I always feel the same way. The startled little swan didn't know what to say. Did every other dancer also feel this way? Looks like she's not the only one who gets nervous. The brave little swan watched the curtain slide away, and she stepped toward the stage and away from Miss Fay. I'm ready, said the swan. I know, said Miss Fay, and they smiled at each other as the orchestra played. Under the stage lights and a cape of chiffon spun the smiling little swan with her worries all gone. Leap, said Miss Fay. I leap, said the swan, and she felt like she was flying as the music played on. Looks like she is flying. After the performance, as the dancers all bowed, clapped the swan's beaming parents with the rest of the crowd. Bravo, called the swans. Bravo, called the crowd. So they clapped and they cheered and they felt very proud. Over in the meadow where the fireflies play sat the tired little swan with her teacher, Miss Fay. Done, said the swan. Well done, said Miss Fay. And I hope you'll audition for the big spring play. So that was fun. She got a little bit nervous, but then everything was fine. That's how it always goes. All right, so I think it's time for us to sing a song. If you guys are ready, we're going to sing Clap Your Hands, okay? And everybody play along, all right? Clap, clap, clap your hands as slowly as you can. Clap, clap, clap your hands as quickly as you can. Shake, shake, shake your hands as slowly as you can. Shake, shake, shake your hands as quickly as you can. Roll, roll, roll your hands as slowly as you can. Roll, roll, roll your hands as quickly as you can. Rub, rub, rub your hands as slowly as you can. Rub, rub, rub your hands as quickly as you can. All right. Thank you, guys. I love that one. That's always so fun. Okay, time for our next book. Hope you're ready. This one is called Bronzerina by James Howe. Bronzerina had a dream. I want to dance. But you are a dinosaur, Madame Lucille pointed out. True, Bronzerina replied, but in my heart, I'm a ballerina. She is too big, and she does not have the right shoes. Madame Lucille wondered what to do. She had never had a dinosaur as a student before. Dinosaurs were rather large, and this one certainly did not have the right shoes. But then she felt Clara and Jack tugging at her skirt. Oh, please, they pleaded. Madame Lucille looked in the dinosaur's eyes. What is your name, my dear? Bronzerina. Bronzerina Apatosaurus. I even sound like a dancer. Don't you agree? Madame Lucille did agree. How could she not? Welcome to Madame Lucille's Dance Academy for girls and boys, she said. Please try not to squash the other dancers. Music, Magnolia, she commanded the piano player. As Magnolia began to play, Madame Lucille turned her commands to her students. Plie, releve. What happened? Oh, she's hitting her head. Arabesque. Jeté. What happened again? Oh, she keeps hitting her head. What a graceful dancer you are, my dear, Madame Lucille exclaimed. Bronzerina blushed. On the outside, I am a dinosaur, but in my heart, you are a ballerina, cried Clara and Jack. She still doesn't have the right shoes. In the weeks that followed, look out! Help! Hey, what's your tail? The piano! She looked like she's doing a very good job. She's running into everything. Oh, Bronzerina, cried Madame Lucille. I'm afraid you are too big to be a ballerina. You barely fit in my studio. And how in the world will a male dancer ever lift you over his head? I can do it, Jack shouted. No, my dear, Madame Lucille with a sigh. You could not. I told you she was too big. A tear fell from Bronzerina's eyes. Downcast, she turned to leave. It was so sad. Wait, Clara called out. Don't go. My mother has been working on a surprise for you all week, Bronzerina. She's bringing it today. Whatever are you talking about? Madame Lucille asked Clara. Wonder what it is. Just then, Clara's mother appeared at the door. You must be Bronzerina, she said, holding out the surprise. I hope these will fit. Well, now she has the right shoes. Bronzerina beamed. They fit perfectly, she cried. I am a ballerina. Or I would be, if only I weren't so big. Oh, fiddlesticks, said Madame Lucille. Why didn't I see it before? The problem is not that you are too big. The problem is that my studio is too small. And so the whole class went off to look for a studio big enough to hold all of Bronzerina's talent. Too small? Too small. Still no luck. I'm going to keep looking. Still too small? Still too small. I have an idea. Now Madame Lucille's Dance Academy had room for everyone. Madame Lucille's Outdoor Dance Academy for girls and boys and dinosaurs and cows. I want to dance. Then you must, my dear. There's room for everybody. They're dancing outside. And it all began with a dream. All right. Hope you guys are liking the ballet stories. I still have a few more. I'm really excited about the next one, too. I really like this one. This one is called Miss Lina's Ballerinas. In a cozy white house in the town of Messina, 8 little girls studied dance with Miss Lina. Christina, Edwina, Sabrina, Justina, Katrina, Bettina, Marina, and Nina. In pink, head to toe, they practiced all day. Plie, releve, pirouette, and jeté. They danced doing math, and they danced while they read. And after their supper, they danced into bed. They danced at the park. They danced at the zoo. They danced at the beach in 4 lines of 2. Christina, Edwina, Sabrina, Justina, Katrina, Bettina, Marina, and Nina. All 8 of them. They danced at the market where they did their shopping. In 4 lines of 2, and they danced without stopping. Then one sunny morning, a girl named Regina arrived at the cozy white house in Messina. Miss Lina announced in her elegant way, "A new ballerina will join us today. This is Regina. Her dancing is fine." Miss Lina's 8 dancers had turned into 9. Then 8 ballerinas cried, "What shall we do? With 9, we no longer make 4 lines of 2. Christina, Edwina, Sabrina, Justina, Katrina, Bettina, Marina, and Nina. Annoyed and irate, distraught and distressed, the girls started dancing, and oh, what a mess. Christina bumped into Regina and Nina, who stepped on Edwina, who fell on Sabrina. Then down came Justina, and down came Katrina, Bettina, Marina, and even Miss Lina. Oh, they all fell. The girls were abashed, baffled, befuddled, flummoxed and flustered, mixed up and muddled. "There, there," said Miss Lina. "You will soon see how delightful it is to be 3 rows of 3. So they can't do 4 rows of 2 anymore, but they can do 3 rows of 3. In 3 rows of 3s, they practiced all day long. Plie, releve, pirouette, and jeté. In 3 rows of 3, they danced while they read. They danced doing math all the time. And going to bed at the park, at the zoo, at the beach, and while shopping. In 3 rows of 3, they danced without stopping. So everything's perfect. Now there are 9, because dancing in 3 rows of 3 is divine for Christina, Edwina, Sabrina, Justina, Katrina, Bettina, Marina, and Nina, who dance all day long with their new friend, Regina. The end. Okay, you guys ready for another song? I think it's time. All right, we're going to sing if you're happy and you know it, okay? Do you guys know this one? All right, you're going to have to sing along with me, okay? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, pat your head. If you're happy and you know it, pat your head. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, pat your head. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. Yay, I'm so glad you guys are happy. I'm very happy. I love online story time and getting to read to you guys. So with that, we're going to get to our last book. The last book today is called Betsy Be Little by Anne McAvoy. You see what Betsy is? She is a lovely giraffe. Betsy Be Little was not small at all. In fact, she was over 11 feet tall. Wherever she went, she created a stir. Why, even her dad had to look up to her. The roof of her house was the highest in town. When she looked at the treetops, she had to look down. She'd walk down the street and she'd stop all the traffic. And on family trips, she was unphotographic. And skating for Betsy was truly a test. Her forelegs would go north, south, east, and west. A ride on the bus left her feeling a wreck, and telephone wires were a pain in the neck. No. Story time. Story time. Yes, please. Sorry about that. They turned the lights off on me. Her schoolmates complained when they couldn't see past her, and jump rope was always a total disaster. At night, it was either her feet or her head that had to hang over one end of the bed. But under her covers, she'd smile away, for night after night, Betsy dreamed of ballet, where costumes and music, the lights and the crowd, made Betsy Be Little feel pretty and proud. When she told her parents she wanted to dance, they said to each other, let's give her a chance. And so, on the very first Monday in May, she arrived at the Scoffington School of Ballet. She joined a class full of hopeful performers in tutus and toe shoes and tights and leg warmers. She bowed and she curtsied to old Miss Triano, who played them a waltz on her purple piano. It felt just like flying on butterfly wings, graceful and lovely, except for two things. When Betsy Be leaped, her head hit the ceiling. She landed so hard, it sent everyone reeling. Her classmates all scattered and started to squawk. With those legs and that neck, just be glad you can walk. The mothers all muttered, she's simply too tall. The great ballerinas have always been small. Oh, she's too tall. And when they all mumbled and grumbled and such, it made Betsy feel like not dancing so much. The next week, Miss Scoffington whispered, dear me, someone is missing. And it's Betsy B. So, she didn't go back. Perhaps, said the others who hoped it was true, she's found a more sensible dream to pursue. She's probably shopping or writing a letter or knitting a really long turtleneck sweater. Now, Betsy loved shopping and was quite the knitter, but Betsy Be Little was never a quitter. In fact, at this moment, she stood in the park. The playground was empty, the sky getting dark. But she said, now or never. Her spirits were high. No ceiling above her except for the sky. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, into the air, higher and higher, with headroom to spare. She's dancing in the park. From her very first jump to her last pirouette, Betsy thought, this is my best ballet yet. Maybe my problem's not being too tall. Maybe I've simply been dreaming too small. Nowadays, Betsy Be Little's well known. She dances outdoors, but she is seldom alone. The whole town applauds her for coming so far and finding her way of reaching her star. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that one too. I love it. Sorry about the lights. That was scary, wasn't it? Okay, well, I hope to see you guys next week. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.